decided that it would be fun to come for Tana Mojo's brand and give you guys a story time about the time that I got alcohol poisoning. Okay, to start, I will give some context into the situation. I was in grade 9. I had been dating my boyfriend at the time for I think almost a year. And I had a crush on this other guy because my boyfriend was an asshole and I didn't want to be with him. But I didn't know how to break up with him because every time I did, he was crazy, and let's not get into that. That's a story for another time. Anyways, so for the sake of the video, my boyfriend's name is gonna be Dylan. Okay, so my friend, who I will call Jake, me and him were like best friends. We literally hung out all the time. I told him all my problems with my boyfriend, and he like we both had a crush on each other. We both knew that we liked each other. But he was really upset that like I wasn't dating him and I was dating my bad boyfriend at the time. Like, I understand why. Like, I told him all the bad things that he had done to me. But anyways, so prior to me getting alcohol poisoning, I actually had a party with Jake, and we ended up kissing at it. And I told my boyfriend, and he was not happy, but like he didn't want to break up with me or anything, which at the time I think that's probably what I wanted. Like I wanted to be with, let me just see the names. I wanted to be with Jake. But like, I had my boyfriend, and my boyfriend was crazy, and he did not want to let me go at all. So anyways, I kissed him. My boyfriend said he was gonna come beat him up and that me and him were meant to be together, blah blah blah. Fast forward to, I'd say like 2 months later, my boyfriend came over for a visit to my mom's house. And we were just chilling, and we usually just like laid in bed and literally did nothing for an entire weekend. And I got a message from my friend Dylan, and he was like, hey, me and this other guy that we're gonna call Cole are just having a little get together tonight. You wanna come and have fun? And I was like, oh, can't, I'm with my boyfriend. And then he's like, oh, your boyfriend can come, it'll be fun. So like I asked my boyfriend, and obviously he was a little bit uncomfortable because I literally kissed this guy 2 months prior. But he eventually was like, yeah, let's go, fine, let's go. So we get there, and it's just me, my friend, and then his friend, okay? So we're just like chilling, everything's fine at first, like we're all just drinking, having fun, playing beer pong. So I mean, that was probably my first mistake because I've never played beer pong, and I hate beer. So I'm sitting there playing beer pong against this other guy named Cole. Sorry, that was a nasty burp. So we're just playing games and like mixing drinks. There's Jack Daniels, there's beer, there's like Pombays, there's like Owl whiskey, like all that stuff. And at first we're just having fun. My boyfriend's just sitting there. He's not really talking. He's not really a talkative person. So he's just sitting there watching us play games. And then I eventually lose at beer pong, which means I drank like 15 solo cups of beer. But because I didn't like beer, some of them had Jack Daniels mixed into it with the beer. So I had that. Next, I started drinking Jack and Coke. And then I mixed Owl whiskey with Jack Daniels and Coke. I'm getting pretty drunk. Everyone else is like a little bit drunk at this point. And then we go upstairs to this guy's, it's like upstairs area, obviously, where all the bedrooms are. And he says like, oh yeah, my parents make
fine. We can all just drink some wine.
So he pulls out this huge, okay, what are those things called? Like the water dispensers with the big jugs. It was like one of those, but like one of the big ones. And he's like,
oh, we can just drink this.
So then we just literally stick a straw in it and everyone starts drinking from it. And since I'm like already drunk at this point, I can't taste anything and I've never experienced that. I didn't know that eventually you can't taste anything. So I just keep on drinking from it and I'm like, nothing's coming out. And I'm just drinking and drinking and I don't even realize. Let's just say I get pretty messed up from that. Literally 2 minutes later, not even, I don't even know how long it was. It felt like 2 minutes, probably longer though. I'm like out of it. Like I can remember some details. Like I remember my friend telling my boyfriend that he can take me into the next room over and we can do it. And at this point, like I was a virgin. I was scared. I didn't want any of that. Like I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want any of that. But he's like, oh yeah, there's a room. Why don't you two just go in there? And like, bad friend for one. Like I'm obviously out of it. Pushing my boyfriend into a room to try and have sex with me. Okay, crazy. Anyway, so I'm like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. So then I like run away and I'm like laughing. Whenever everyone's having a good time, I don't want to be like the buzzkill. I want to be the fun time person. So I'm running away laughing like, come catch me. Okay, so I'm like completely drunk. I'm like sliding down their stairs on my butt. I'm like running around, laughing, giggling, trying to run away from everybody. And then I think after that point, I was kind of just like blacked out. Like I don't really remember much after that. Like I remember like little bits and pieces. Like I remember going downstairs into this, my friend's dad's, well, stepdad. My friend's dad's alcohol stash and taking his really expensive stuff and pouring it in cups, which my friend was not happy about. But anyways, I definitely have alcohol poisoning at this time. Like, I'm out of it. I don't remember anything. So, next thing I know, me and my boyfriend are walking down the street and I'm like, whoa, why are we outside? Like we're literally 5 minutes from this guy's house at this point. Not even 5 minutes, honestly, it was probably like 2 minutes. But like I walked that far and didn't even realize that like I left someone's house. I guess the wind kind of like brought me to my senses a bit. So we're like walking away, he's like,
oh, his parents are coming, we need to leave. They're gonna be home soon.
And I'm like, no, this is a bad idea, this is a bad idea, we have to go back. And my boyfriend's like,
no, why? We have to leave. He said we have to leave.
So then I turn around and I just start walking back to his house, so my boyfriend follows. So then we get to his house and he sees us walking up his yard, his front yard. And he comes outside and he's like,
what are you guys doing here? I told you to leave. My parents are coming.
So then my boyfriend starts talking to him. Meanwhile, I'm just standing there like looking back and forth at them, listening to them. And then all of a sudden, my feet can no longer carry me. And I just like drop to the ground. But as I'm falling, it's like I'm floating in space. Like nothing feels real. Like it felt like a super slow-mo. It felt like I was falling for like 5 minutes. But as soon as I hit the ground, I like hit it full force because literally my legs just gave out. It wasn't like a soft land or anything like that. Like I literally just fell. And like my head hits the ground and my teeth chomp my tongue. Like it hurt so bad. So I'm laying on the ground as they're talking and they're like, come on Amber, get up, get up. And I'm like, I can't. And then it's like, you need to get her out of here. So then they're like arguing and I'm just giggling on the ground like an idiot. And then all of a sudden a car pulls over across the street and I'm like watching it. And it's a police car. And I'm like, hey guys. So they're like, what? And I'm like pointing at the car. Laughing, and they like look over and they're like, oh shit, Amber, get up, come on, get up. And I'm like, I can't. Oh my god, such a stupid idiot. So then the police cop, what are they called? The cop gets out of the car and she like starts to walk across the road and she's like, hey guys, is everything fine over here? And they're like,
yeah, we're just hanging out, talking.
And she's like, is there a party going on here? And they're like,
no, we're just hanging out.
And then all of a sudden the other guy from earlier in the night, my friend's friend, Cole, bursts through the front door, beer, solo cups in hand, and he's like, yeah, woohoo, party! Literally right at that moment. And then he sees me on the ground and he looks over and sees the police car and the cop walking across the road. And he just he just goes, oh, and closes the door and backs inside. Meanwhile, there's like a whole bunch of beer bottles all around his feet. The girl's like, okay, I'm gonna go get an ambulance for her. So the girl goes across the street and like goes into her intercom cop car thing and is like, niner. I'm kidding, that's not what she said. I don't know what she said. She was across the road. But she gets like a police car, not a police car, an ambulance to come for me. So then the ambulance shows up. I'm laying there, they call my mom. My mom comes and she's like, oh my God, what's wrong? And then my friend's parents come home and they're like, oh my God, is that Amber on the ground? And I'm just rolling laughing. Like my mom's there, my friend's parents are there, there's an ambulance there, there's a cop there, like there's lights on. He lives right on a highway too, so like everybody from my town goes down that street. So like, I'm laying there on his front lawn, like half dead, laughing while all these people are freaking out around me and everyone's like, get up, and like people are like, oh my God, Amber. And then, so the ambulance people come over and they're like, come on, you have to get up, and they're parked across the street again. So they're like, come on, let's get up. I'm like, I can't walk. So then they're like, fine, we'll just lift you. So they take me by my arms and drag me across the street. And at this point, like my tits are out of my shirt and I'm like in grade 9, like my tits are out. I'm being dragged across the street by a cop and an ambulance people. So they sit me down in the back of the van and the ambulance guy is like, okay, I'm just gonna try and do up your shirt. So he's standing there like trying to like, I was wearing like a button down I think and a bandeau underneath, so he's like trying to button up my shirt and I'm like, no, go away. And I was like, seriously, like go away, but like I was mumbling it and the guy just keeps on trying and I was like, okay, whatever, you won't move. And I puked all over his arm, all over the ambulance, like I puked everywhere. So now I'm sitting there, puke everywhere, and they're like, okay, we gotta get her to the hospital, so they just close the doors. So we get there, this is what my mom told me because I don't remember any of this. Whenever we get there, there's not enough rooms in ER, so like, I don't have a room yet. I have to wait for someone to get out. We're in the hospital, my mom's sitting there with my boyfriend. I'm sitting in the waiting room with them, and then like, I'm just sitting there, we're waiting for a room to be available. And I start like I'm gonna puke. I'm like, and I like can't talk. All I'm doing is like gagging. And then the people in the waiting room are like, oh my God, is she okay? Does she need a bucket? So they all start like moving away from me. And then I'm like, and then I like puke all over the floor in the waiting room and everyone's like, the doctors come running out and they're like, okay, get her a room. So they find me this like little gurney thing and I don't really have a room. I'm in like one of those little not closet, like the things that have the curtains. And I'm laying there. I don't remember what else, but eventually I get a room because I woke up in a room. I came to my senses in a room. So I'm laying there and I remember like my spit was super foamy, so I'm like spitting every 10 seconds all over my mom and everything. Trying to spit into this like bedpan. And like whenever I come to my senses, I just remember like looking over and seeing like a whole bunch of spit on the ground, and then I looked a little bit further and there was blood everywhere and I was like, oh my God, Mom, there's blood. And she's like, yeah, that's your blood. And I'm like, oh, that's my blood. And I started like freaking out and she's like, yeah, your blood is like water. When they stuck the IV in, you dribbled everywhere. And I was like, oops. I'm laying there. I remember I had to go to the bathroom and my mom had to help me, and like my butt's out because I don't have to wear that little dress thing. So my mom helps me into the bathroom. Like, she saw everything. She saw my tits, she saw my ass, she saw everything that night. I go pee, do my business. She helps me get back up under the bed. She helps me, like, I don't think she helped me wipe myself. I think that's going too far. But yeah, I was a hot mess. So I go to the bathroom, I come out, and my boyfriend's sitting at the end of the bed, like with his hands in his head, on his head. And I'm like, Mom, what's his problem? Okay, wait, this part's actually kind of funny. And my mom's like, he feels bad, he feels like it's his fault. And I was like,
that's cause it is his fault, you stupid idiot.
And I just like start blaming him for everything. I'm like, it's all your fault. Oh my god, so like I'm dying and I'm telling my boyfriend, it's all your fault that this happened. You stupid idiot. Oh my god, it's so crazy. So he like starts crying softly at the end of the bed and I'm like laughing at him. Okay, we didn't have a good relationship. Like, I'm just making myself sound bad, but like, trust me, he was bad too. So like, at this point I'm laughing again, and then I remember like getting into really deep conversation with my mom. Eventually the lady comes in and she's like, I have your results. You want to hear them? And we're like, duh, obviously. Am I gonna die? Like, am I gonna have liver failure? Or is it kidney? I don't know. I know one of those things. And she's like, okay, here's the results. And she's like, wait, this one's true. Your blood levels are at 3.4. And we're like, okay, what does that mean? She's like, the legal drinking limit is 0.08 or 0.8. I'm not sure which one it is. And she's like, you're 14 times over the limit. And I'm like, hee 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 hee. And my mom's like, oh my god, Amber. And my boyfriend starts crying more. And I don't know why, I just thought everything was funny. And this lady's like, grown men who have that alcohol level are dead. And I'm like,
Wow, I'm stronger than men.
And I'm like, just laying in the bed thinking, I'm like, I'm a survivor. Like, I'm a bad bitch. No one can, you can't kill me. That's literally me and the gurney. My mom's like, Amber, not time to joke about things like this. Carrying on, we get to the car. My mom had to like wheel me out on a wheelchair. And then we get to the car and I'm like sitting in the back and my boyfriend's sitting in the front, I think. Oh no, maybe I was getting in the front. Yeah, I was getting in the front seat. My boyfriend was sitting in the back. And there was like drops on the seat and I'm like,
Ew, what's that? What's that?
and I'm pointing at it and my mom's like, Brad, did you piss on my seat? So he's like,
No, I didn't.
and my mom's like, Brad, you peed in a bottle on my seat. Did you miss and pee on my seat? And he's like,
Maybe.
and I'm just like laughing about the whole situation. My mom's like mad that she has to deal with two drunk kids. I sit with my legs open the whole ride so I don't have to touch his nasty pee, but I'm like laughing the whole thing because he peed on the seat. My mom's like, she could eventually kind of thought it was funny, like around the time that we were getting close to our house. So anyways, carrying on. We get to the house, I'm like, it was actually the night before Easter morning, so I basically ruined Easter for my entire family. I think we got home at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Anyways, I go in and I'm like, I need a shower, and my mom's like, yeah, go take a shower and go to bed. So then I go take a shower and I remember like I couldn't stand and my boyfriend had to like come hold me up while I washed myself. Next morning, I wake up. Literally for the entire week to 2 weeks, everything felt like a dream. Nothing felt real. Like every day that I went to school, nothing felt real at all. Like everything was just like super weird. I don't remember like anything that happened that week. Easter day, I wake up and I like get ready. I go downstairs and then my mom's like, Joe, do you want to have a talk with your daughter? And he's like, no, why? And she's like, talk to your daughter. My dad's just like, Amber, you can't do things like that. Mom's like, that's it. And he's like, what, Shelly? What do you want me to say? It happened. You can't reverse it. And my mom's like, yeah, you better never let this happen again. Like, you scared us so bad. Okay, I'm putting on bronzer. And I'm like, yeah, I won't. I don't even like drinking. I don't even like leaving my bedroom. It won't happen again. So eventually all the family starts showing up to the dinner. And like, I'm about to get real into it, because what I said I don't think was offensive at the time, but like, my cousin, who was my best friend, then I remember telling her like, oh, if you were there, this wouldn't have happened. And she got like super offended, and she told her mom, and her mom was like threatening me. She's like, you're not welcome at our house anymore. How dare you blame all this on me? And I'm like, I wasn't blaming anyone. I was just saying if like I had a friend there, then things would have been different. Like, I'm not saying it's your fault this happened to me. But yeah, I also caused family drama the next day. Anyway, so banned from my cousin's house. I offended her by saying, if you were here, nothing would have happened. Like, I don't understand like how you could take that out of context, but to ban me from your house, okay. Carrying along, that was like my first real like drinking experience. I had drank before that, but like not to that extent. I had only gone to like a little small family get-together party with my boyfriend once at his cousin's, and I literally had like 1 tequila. That was it. So like, this was my first real experience with alcohol. And like, not to sound stupid, I mean, not to sound like, I don't know what the word is, not to like put the blame on anyone, but my mom at the time was always telling me to like, leave your bedroom, go out, have fun with your friends. She like literally forced me to go parties, and I'm like, I don't want to go to parties. I literally just want to sit in my bedroom and watch movies. And she's like, go make friends, it's not healthy. So I mean, if you think about it, kind of my mom's fault. I didn't want friends. Okay, you know, I'll save my crazy boyfriend story for another time. So yeah, moral of the story, alcohol poisoning isn't fun and you shouldn't do it. Oh yeah, I was laying in bed last night thinking about this. I hate when people who have friends, or like 2 or 3 friends, or a whole group, it doesn't matter, or like, yeah, I have no friends. Like, I understand people feel like they have no friends when they literally only have acquaintances, but like, if you're hanging out with these people, then I wouldn't say that you have no friends. Even if they're just like, oh, it's just an acquaintance, like, why are you hanging out with them then? Acquaintances you don't really hang out with, you just talk to them whenever you see them. Anyways, yeah, so every time I tell people like, oh, I have no friends, they're like, oh, me too, like, we should be friends, I have none either. Like, no. You were literally telling me yesterday that you were going to the bar with your friends or with your acquaintances. Like, when I say I have no friends, I mean I have no friends. I have my cousin who lives halfway across Canada. So like, we talked, but very little. We also just like kind of grew apart. And then I have my one friend from high school who lives 2 hours away from me, and we barely talk. Anyways, that's a conversation for another time. I don't know, I guess it just makes me feel worse about my situation when people are like, I have no friends, when I talk about me not having any friends, and then they're like, oh yeah, but I actually have like 2 or 3. Like, I wish I had 2 or 3 friends. Like, at least then I'd have someone to discuss things with. You know, my only friend is my mom and my boyfriend at the moment. I'm sorry, I'm a loser. Carrying on with the makeup. I'm done getting into the sappy conversation. Now, I normally don't wear eyelashes, like whenever I go to work or anything, but for the sake of the video, just because I think it looks better. Okay, so I will pop on these and be right back. Okay, like I said, I don't normally wear fake eyelashes, but like, these are natural enough that I thought it would be fine. I will try and be consistent and upload at least one video a week. But sorry, no promises. Oh my god, I forgot lipstick. I'm so stupid. And this one is Brave by MAC. I'm getting all congested. Okay, this is done. I think that this is just like my simple everyday makeup. But yeah, that was all, and see you next week, I guess. Bye.
기억나?